Marvel vs Capcom Infinite. Who doesn't love seeing several characters from various comics and video games cross over to fight against each other? I know I do. Now, the Marvel vs Capcom games have included several awesome characters, but Marvel and Capcom still have several more characters that have never been included in any of their games, and some that have, but were taken out of Marvel vs Capcom 3. So this is a list of the 10 characters I want to see in Infinite for the first time or I want to see make a comeback. The characters aren't in any particular order, since I would love to see any of these characters make a comeback into the game, and if you don't agree with this list, that's fine. These are just the characters I would like to see in the game, and if you think different characters deserve to be in the game, let me know in the comments below. Okay, here we go.
10.
Rogue. This X-Men character was both in X-Men vs Street Fighter and Marvel vs Capcom 2, but sadly she wasn't included in Marvel vs Capcom 3. Rogue is one of my favorite X-Men characters, and she was one of my favorite characters to use in Marvel vs Capcom 2, so I would love to see her make a comeback in Infinite. It would also be interesting to see what they do with this character, as her powers have greatly changed in the comics since her last appearance in the franchise. I'm not sure if she will make it into the game, since there is some talks of maybe no X-Men characters will make it into the game, and if they do, it won't be many. But if they do include the X-Men in the games, I definitely hope she's one of them.
9.
Ryu. No, not that Ryu. The one from Breath of Fire. Capcom has said that they will be trying to revive some of their older game series, and I hope the RPG series Breath of Fire is one of them. So, like Nintendo uses Smash Bros in a way to get fans interested in other games, like how they use Corrin to advertise Fire Emblem Fates, I hope Capcom does the same thing with Marvel vs Capcom. So, by including Ryu, they could get fans pumped up for a new Breath of Fire game. Okay, so if you're a fan of the Breath of Fire series, you're probably thinking, which Ryu? Since the main character of all the Fire Emblem games are named Ryu, but are technically different characters. That is, except for Fire Emblem 6, but that's a horrible cell phone game that I like to pretend doesn't exist. I think any of the Ryu incarnations would be good, but if I had to choose, I would say either the Ryu from the second or third game. Honestly, I can't decide. I like both of the designs. Really, I'd be fine with any of the Ryus.
8.
Carnage. Carnage is one of my favorite Spider-Man villains. I've always liked the character because he's just a complete psychopath. This character is just pure evil, and there are no doubts about it. Carnage spawned from Venom, so they have really similar powers, but what sets him apart is that the symbiote can create weapons from itself like axes and swords, which to me would make him ideal for a fighting game since he could have several cool attacks. Plus, I would love to play as Spider-Man and fight against Carnage. I would finally be able to get revenge for Maximum Carnage and beat him in a balanced game.
7.
Akira Kozma from Rival Schools. Rival Schools was a cool fighting game that never really caught on. It just came out at a time where there were several fighting games to choose from, and it just ended up getting overshadowed. The games had several awesome characters, which sadly Capcom hasn't really done anything with. My favorite character out of the games has to be Akira. I just love her design of this badass looking biker. And I mean, Capcom must have also thought that because they made her the lead character in Project Justice. And even if Capcom never revives the Rival School franchise, they could transition her into other fighting games. So if there was ever a time for her to make a return to games, it would be now, as I really think she would make a great addition to any fighting game.
6.
Ms. Marvel. Kamala Khan, aka Ms. Marvel, is a really new addition to the Marvel Universe. She only debuted in 2013, but has become really popular over the short amount of time she has been around. She was even a member of the Avengers for a short while. I could easily see Marvel wanting her put in the game, not just because of her popularity, but also since they are trying to push the Inhumans to the forefront of the Marvel Universe, which she is an Inhuman, and she took up the codename Ms. Marvel from her idol, the current Captain Marvel, which was one of the first characters revealed for Infinite, so I could see some kind of storyline between the two of them. Really, Ms. Marvel's a fun character. who started out as a fan of superheroes. In the comics, she writes fanfiction about her favorite heroes and geeks out when she teams up with different superheroes. She also has a really cool set of powers. She's a polymorph, so she can shapeshift into other people and grow and stretch her body however she wants, which can make her really formidable in a fight and will make her a great addition to the game.
5,
Samanosuke Akichi from Onimusha. Samanosuke was the main character of the first and third Onimusha games, which are awesome games by the way, but we haven't had a new game since 2006. Samanosuke is an awesome samurai swordsman with a magical gauntlet given to him by an Oni clan to help him fight against demons. Who doesn't love an awesome sword-wielding demon killer? I mean, come on. This is just another awesome character from an equally awesome game franchise that Capcom needs to show some love to. It doesn't hurt that Samanosuke is a cool character that would make an interesting addition to the fighting game with various weapons and abilities. Also, Dante vs Samanosuke is one of my dream fight scenarios, so including them both in the game would allow me to somewhat see how the fight would go.
4,
Black Panther. Black Panther is one of those characters, along with the Fantastic Four, I'm surprised haven't made it into any of the Marvel vs Capcom games. He's just one of those big influential characters that has been really important to the Marvel universe. But I think this is going to change with Infinite, and he definitely has a chance of showing up. Especially considering that he has a big Marvel movie coming out in 2018. Marvel is going to want to put more of a spotlight on the character, and I think he deserves it. He's a really cool character and a really amazing fighter, and seeing him go head to head with the other Marvel heroes and villains would be pretty awesome.
3,
Edward Falcon from Power Stone. Out of all the characters on this list, I think Falcon has the least possible chance. I say that because while the game franchise is awesome and I love it, Capcom hasn't showed it much love. It only has 2 games in the series, which the last game came out in the year 2000, and while it did have a port in 2006, that's pretty much the last time we heard of the franchise. And I don't even think any of the characters have cameoed in any other Capcom games. Really, I love Power Stone, and I think it's an underrated franchise, but it's not just that I want to see the series get some love, but I think Falcon would also be a good fit for Marvel vs Capcom. He's already a fighting game character, so they would just have to translate his moves, and he would make a fun addition to the game. Also, Power Stones and Infinity Stones? Come on, you can't have a Capcom game about using magical stones without including a Power Stone character. So, come on Capcom, show the franchise some love by including its lead character.
2,
Medusa. Medusa is an inhuman with the power to manipulate her hair and use it in various ways, including combat. And I know what you're thinking, a character in a fighting game that can manipulate her hair, that's never been done before. Really, Medusa is a cool character. She is part of the Inhuman royal family and has led her people in her husband's place plenty of times. What I like about the character is that she has this nice simple design, yet at the same time she really stands out because of her long flowing red hair. I think she would make a good character for Infinite. Not only do I think she will look cool in the game, but she would also have some interesting attacks with her hair, and like Miss Marvel, will make a great addition from the Inhuman side of the Marvel Universe.
1,
Jin Saotome from Cyberbots / Captain Commando from, well, Captain Commando. Okay, I couldn't decide between these 2 characters. Look, Marvel vs Capcom 2 was an amazing game, and I loved the roster. It just had a ton of amazing characters, which is something I felt the 3rd game, including the Ultimate version, was lacking. To be honest, I tried to make this list a little original, but I easily could have filled it up with characters that deserve to make a comeback to the series. Captain Commando and Jin are 2 characters I loved in MVC2. They were part of what made that game so great, which was all these weird characters that really gave the game this fun, spastic, quirky personality. And while I never played Cyberbots or Captain Commando, I got a sense of those games by using these characters, and if Capcom released new games starring these characters, I would definitely pick them up, just to play as them. Like I said, there are plenty of characters that deserve to make a comeback, and I hope plenty of them do, but if I had to choose one returning character, it'd be one of these 2. Alright, so that's the 10 characters I would like to see included in Infinite. There are several other characters I would love to see put in the game. Trust me, when I was making this list, 10 really seemed like a big limitation, and I could have easily made this a top 30 or 50 list. Like I said, I would be happy if any of these characters made it into the game. And again, if you think different characters deserve to be in the game, let me know in the comments below. Alright, thanks for watching, and see you in the next one. Hey, if you liked this video, check out my video for 10 animations to watch on Christmas. And again, thanks for watching.